Can McCaffrey do it again? It's the coach, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, dual threat Christian McCaffrey. Fresh off a big game a week ago, as it'll be the Carolina Panthers taking on the Arizona Cardinals. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Coach. We are about 15 miles west of downtown Phoenix at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. It's certainly hot outside here in the desert, but somehow this Cardinal crowd turned up the heat a moment ago. They were in a frenzy as their team emerged from the tunnel, and the Cardinals, they're set to do battle with Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis on hand, and this is a game where the defenses, they need to be on their toes because you've got quarterbacks here, yes, that can throw the football, but they can also run it very well too.
Mobile quarterbacks. Remember, for the longest time, they used to tell the quarterbacks, stay in the pocket. We don't want you outside of it at all. Nowadays, that mobility, truly an asset, and people are game planning for it. As a scout told me recently, we are actually working with what the colleges are giving us nowadays.
It's an Indian summer afternoon. Perfect conditions for football, and off we go on EA Sports. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. The Cardinals set to go on offense. It'll be Kyler Murray leading the way. What a year for him at Oklahoma in 2018. Heisman Trophy winner, better than 4,300 passing yards, 42 touchdowns. And don't forget about running the football as well. He had a 1,000-yard season rushing it with 12 touchdowns on the ground as well. Fourth-round pick in 2018, Chase Edmonds with a carry. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here, up to the 34.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
On second and a yard, Murray, blitz coming, and down he goes.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Now that last sack puts Murray and the Cards in a tough spot, 3rd and long. Draw play, Edmonds. And a pretty nice tackle there, ranging up from his free safety spot as he'll stop him about a yard short. He gets a good chunk of yards there, 8 all told, but they're still looking at a 4th down. Not the best of starts here offensively. You're back home, you lost a couple games in a row, and here's an early 3-and-out to start things off.
And I think they were counting on being at home and having the home crowd carry them along a little bit to help things get better. But the bottom line is you don't get the crowd involved until you play better. They've got to create some first downs, some big plays, things of that nature to make sure that the crowd is right there with them.
Around the NFL, an update from a game going on down in Tampa. And the Bucs are out to an early lead. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. So here are the Panthers now under head coach Ron Rivera. They'll be led out by their now 30-year-old quarterback, Cam Newton, MVP of the league back in 2015.
And frankly, this is the type of game that a great quarterback relishes because 0-2 on the road, everything's against him and his team. No one can expect them to win. Sometimes you band together real tight in that situation, and if he plays really well, they've got a chance to get that done.
A first carry for Christian McCaffrey, who made his first Pro Bowl last year. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21. And the offensive starters for the Panthers.
And what a workhorse is Christian McCaffrey, the running back for the Carolina Panthers, who led his team in rushing and receiving yardage in 2018 and was also the team's leading scorer. How about this? Set an NFL record for catches for a running back with 107. So for an encore, he just wants to get his team back to the playoffs in 2019.
On 2nd and 9, Newton nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Chandler Jones has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes, and just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, their quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
So now Cam leads the Panthers up following the sack. Carolina facing 3rd and long. Out of the gun, Newton will find his man. That's Hogan, complete. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A pickup of 27, and they pick up the first down in the process. We often, with Cam Newton, talk a lot about his legs. Don't forget about that arm.
He can throw it on a rope. He can loft it. He's got the touch that's been developed throughout his career. But the big part about just watching him throw it, it seems almost effortless.
Stop your whining.
On first down, this is McCaffrey. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. Well, look now at our starting defense. This unit currently 7th in the NFL, Charles, in stopping the run.
They've established themselves as a top 10 run-stopping unit in the NFL here in the early going. All signs point to me towards them continuing that throughout the season. They look pretty good, pretty darn cohesive to me.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Now it's Newton. And he will find the open man. It's DJ Moore. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Cardinals' 39.
DJ Moore went through some ups and downs his rookie season, but really came on strong late in the year. Finished with 55 catches, the most among Panthers not named Christian McCaffrey. And now with Devin Funchess gone to Indianapolis, he's going to be the true WR1 for the Panthers.
So into Cardinal territory now. It's 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. Newton going to hand it off to McCaffrey. The numbers for McCaffrey last week. You see the numbers last week for Davis. In the end, not enough to help get him the victory.
And as we look forward to this week, don't you just get the sense that he's going to get the ball a little bit more? I mean, that's just how it reads to me. I don't know how you're feeling about it.
Well, they talked about that with us this week. That's going to be a priority for them.
Give him the ball, let him do his thing.
This is Newton off the play fake to McCaffrey. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. Chandler Jones in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year. Charles, a little bit of feast or famine on this drive. They moved the ball okay, but they've been sacked twice now.
And they've got to figure out how to plug that leak a little bit, right? Keep them away from the quarterback because when he's not being hit, as you mentioned, they're moving the ball well.
So now Cam leads the Panthers up following the sack. Carolina facing 3rd and long. From the gun, here's Newton. And open here is Hogan. He's got it. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. It's a Panthers first down, 17 yards on the play.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
He used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him. From the gun, here's Newton. And open here is Hope. Something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
Watch the curl, watch the curl, watch the curl.
McCaffrey on the counter, and he'll run straight into a wall of tacklers at the line of scrimmage. It's second down.
That's it, baby.
On that play, it was the defensive front that won the battle. They out-leveraged the offensive line, got into the backfield, and held them to no gain.
It's going to be a long...
Looking to throw on second down. Newton, and they're going to get him. He's sacked back around the 28. And that is the third sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game, I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. So now Cam leads the Panthers up following the sack. Carolina facing third and long. A shotgun snap for Newton. He finds his man, the tight end Olsen. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal.
Yeah, Greg Olsen's back for his 13th NFL season. The last 9 have been in a Panthers uniform. Only 9 games for him a year ago, 7 the season before due to injuries. But when healthy, a 1,000-yard receiver in 2014, 15, and 16.
So another third down conversion, and now they've got a first and goal. They'll try to run with McCaffrey, and that'll get him halfway there as he takes it from the 6 to the 3-yard line.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive.
And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. Chris Manhertz, his first touchdown here of the new campaign, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. This is a crew, they've come out flat their last 2 games, both losses, but just judging by the energy level, they look different here early, and that touchdown shows how.
Yeah, it seems to me that touchdown gets them off the treadmill. Because you know, you've been on the treadmill. I've seen you work out. You go forever and ever, and it tells you you've gone somewhere, but you really have. You're in the same spot. They've exchanged it for an escalator. Still got some hills to climb, but they can get there.
These are good analogies. I run outside sometimes, though. You know, get some fresh air, a little sun on your face.
A little wind in there.
Yeah, that's right. Extra point try, good by Gano. And that makes the score 7-0. So that drive spans 13 plays. And the end result, a Panthers touchdown. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Let's go.
Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
They'll start on the ground with Edmonds. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. On second down, here's Murray.
The guys up front, so when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing.
Put an extra X on the end.
And they could do that because they saw something before the rest of us. They saw the potential of Max Williams, and it's coming to realization now in the NFL. A really good tight end with a little bit of speed.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. And they're going to get him down well short of the first, as he can only get this to the 30. That'll be good for 6, but now it's fourth down.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Here's Andy Lee now, as he'll kick it away for the second time. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. Time for our players' spotlight, and it focuses in here on Cam Newton. And maybe he's starting to wave the white flag a little bit. He's playing pretty well, but the pressure, it's got to him.
Has to find a way to step around it, step through it, or just handle it. Because as you mentioned, he's having a pretty good day overall. Just the hits keep coming and taking those sacks. That's not the way that they want to finish a ball game with their quarterback on the ground so much.
He'd like to stay upright. When he's been upright, he's been pretty good. Had a bit of a lane there, took advantage of it. Give him 7 there on the first down carry. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Operating from the 27 now. Here's 2nd and 3. Here's Newton. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Brooks Reed. He's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
So now Cam leads the Panthers up following the sack. Carolina facing 3rd and long. Operating from the gun. Newton. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Chandler Jones, he's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye. That happened fast and a big sack. So on 4th down, kicking it away here, Michael Pilardi. Back deep, Patrick Peterson. And 9 yards there on the return following a punt of 47. And the Cards will take over 1st and 10. Here's the Arizona offense now as they get set to take over. They've had it twice. They punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
And he's got room. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. 23 yards on the pickup there and a 1st. Last year as a rookie, Edmonds got more action than most people anticipated as David Johnson's backup. 80 touches, 60 of them on the ground, 20 through the air. 4th-round pick in 2018 out of Fordham, who had a whopping 5,800 rushing yards during his college career. They think his future's bright in Arizona. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Back to the ground on 1st down, Edmonds. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Here we go. Edwin. Mike back forward. I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you.
On 2nd and 12, Murray. That'll be taken in by Demir Bird. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
They sure put the coverage guys in a stress on that one. They thought they were going deep. Ends up curling inside for a nice chunk of yardage.
Trying to pick it up on the ground with Edmonds. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And it'll be 4th down.
Luke Kuechly combines speed, intelligence, toughness, puts it all together. It makes plays like one we just saw there. He may not be a big-time blitzer, but boy, he knows how to pursue straight ahead and make plays in the run game.
A 40-yard attempt.
And the kick by Gonzalez is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So they do get 3 points, but that's now 3 drives with only the 3 points, not a ratio that's going to win you many ball games.
Not at all, Brandon. And think about it this way. We all know payoff is the key, right? And wouldn't we love to have the concession on every T-shirt that's been printed in football that says finish on it? Because that's the mantra everywhere. Got to be able to finish drives, put points on the board.
Let's go. Do it.
So here are the Panthers set to take over. They lost 2 straight coming in, but good news for them right now. They've got the lead and the football. So Newton and the Panthers come up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They start on the ground with McCaffrey. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. That'll go as a loss of 5. And it'll make this a 2nd and long.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
On 2nd and 15 now. Newton, and that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
Now Newton. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Starting to wonder if this offensive line just simply doesn't like him. I mean, they've given up 6 sacks in this game. He's had nowhere to go, nowhere to run, and obviously nowhere to hide.
And all those sacks in the first half, this is just complete domination. Here's Michael Pilardi now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Just a 2-yard return there following a punt of 48. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And the Cardinals getting set to trot out there now. And after the field goal last time, let's see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
And the starting crew defensively for Carolina.
K'Wan Short came out of Purdue as one of the top-rated defensive tackle prospects. Now he's one of the top-rated NFL players.
Three yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
Let's go, tackle. Let's go. We got this. We got this.
2nd down. Murray sets to throw. He'll get this into the hands of Bird. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. A big play there on the catch and run. 56 yards. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll be stopped about a yard shy of the goal line after a pickup of about 3.
It is definitely hard to find space near the goal line. You always want to have a guy in the game running it who can create his own.
On 2nd and goal, Murray under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Off the edge, Mario Addison gets the sack.
When you're this close to the goal line, you got to expect pressure from the defense, so the ball's got to come out fast. Got to get out of his hands quicker.
So they're back at the 7 now for 3rd and goal.
I don't think you got it, son.
On Edmonds. And they'll get him down here at about the 5-yard line. Give him a couple on the run there, and now they're in that in-between area here on 4th and goal. Looking at this situation, if you're at the 1, the 2, maybe you go for it. From here, you kick it.
I agree. I think you have to get points in this situation. 4th down, I don't chance it at all. I put the points on the board and go back and regroup.
A 22-yard attempt.
Gonzalez's kick is good. And they'll get it back within a point at 7-6. So 2 first-quarter field goal attempts for him, and he's converted on both.
I like the positive right there. 2 for 2, got the points on the board. The negative side is they didn't score touchdowns. And, of course, going forward in this game, that's going to be the aim, and hopefully they'll be kicking extra points instead.
So we're back to a 1-point game now as the kickoff comes. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Carolina getting set to take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. The drive begins with a run by McCaffrey. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. From the gun, Newton. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Operating from the gun, Newton. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Here's Michael Pilardi now as he's on to punt for Carolina. And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. After one, a 1-point game, 7-6. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. You put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about
toe
that.
Bashed it.
Super toe.
Down. On the base. Mike strike forward. I got wide.
Now on 2nd and 13. Murray. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the safety, Eric Reed. And the return will stop right around the 25. Defensively that time, they were in zone coverage. As a rookie QB, what lesson can you learn there?
Well, understand this. You saw zone in college, and the defensive backs reacted, but they don't react like they do on this level. So when they're in zone and they see the ball coming to them, they'll react at least a half a second faster. You've got to know where you want to go with the ball and be decisive with it. Otherwise, the end result can be something you don't like.
There's DJ Moore as he and the rest of the offense head back out there. Second quarter here, he has only 1 catch, but they have the lead. You got to think, though, he's going to be more involved at some point.
That's what you would expect, but sometimes what defenses do to take away a player of his magnitude, it costs them in other areas. And right now, with them losing, they may have to change their focus, and maybe he will open up a little bit more as the game goes on.
Yeah, well, so far, just the single catch. Tackle made there by Jordan Hicks. From the 24, Newton. And that's caught. It's Hogan. And they'll get this down to the 10. A gain of 13. It's a first down. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. Pick up 7 there on the first down keeper.
Oh, man, that wasn't far from breaking in a big way into the secondary. Read option, quarterback kept it. And while he didn't get a first down, he did get a nice chunk of yardage. Only a nice tackle prevented it from maybe going all the way.
Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. The Panthers on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This time it's 3rd and 3. They'll try and pick it up with McCaffrey. And he is in. Touchdown, Carolina. Christian McCaffrey, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Panthers, they widen their lead. Able to punch it in on 3rd down makes it easier for those guys on the sideline. They didn't have a 4th down decision to make.
Yeah, could you feel the exhale? Because they were already thinking ahead, as all the good coaching staffs do. Anticipating, will we have to make the call? They already had it lined up, never even got to it.
Gano the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. 5 plays there on that drive. And the last play on the drive, the touchdown run from Christian McCaffrey. Gano now following the touchdown, here to kick it away. A reminder, coming up later tonight, a lot of buzz about this game. The Browns, they've been doing some travel. Back-to-back primetime games for them. Monday night, they were in New York. Now the Browns head to Los Angeles to take on the NFC champs, Browns and Rams, an 8:20 kickoff Eastern time, 5:20 in California. Murray and the Cardinals with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Edmonds to begin the drive. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. I think you mentioned in the opening drive that these guys needed to establish the run, protect the young QB. I actually wrote that down, believe it or not. So how would you assess things so far?
I'm kind of touched that you actually wrote something like that down. I appreciate that, partner. But I do think they've been able to do that. Maybe not as effectively as they wanted to, but I think we'll see more of as this game goes along because they want to continue to take care of that young QB.
Now, meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. And this is a guy straight out of college. They're not going to try to groom for a year or two. They want him to produce right away.
That's why they took him in the first round. They expect him to be a starter right away and a future All-Pro. So they don't have any time to wait for him to come along. They want him to play right now to help this team.
They added a lot of talent to a roster that really needed an infusion of youth. They got a very good infusion of youth.
And they didn't really reach to get anyone as well. They stuck to their draft philosophy, got the best players they could at the time they were drafting, and inserted them into their lineup.
They'll run on first down, Edmonds. And they went the wrong way there, losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And that's going to make it 2nd and 14.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Throwing on 2nd and 14. Murray. Throw caught here by Bird. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Panthers' 41-yard line. Nice pass that time by the #1 pick, Kyler Murray. Also drafted 9th in the Major League Baseball draft. He's the only person ever to be taken top 10 in both sports. Go back to his Allen High School days in Texas. He was 42-0 as a starting quarterback. Freshman year, he was at Texas A&M, then the transfer to Oklahoma, sat behind Baker Mayfield. Then his opportunity came last year. Boy, did he make the most of it. Won the Heisman Trophy and led the Sooners to the college football playoff. On first down, Edmonds. And this one's going to go the wrong way, losing yardage back at the 42. A loss of 2 there, 2nd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Ready, 60 outlaw. Mike's by 4. Let's go, D. Let's go.
On 2nd and 12, Murray. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down. The Cardinals on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd down and 12. Edmonds running out of the shotgun. And they'll get him down at about the 37, well short of the first.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
So now here comes the field goal team for the 3rd time today. This from 54 yards away. And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. And that'll get the lead down to 5. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Cam Newton getting ready to go again on offense. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of him. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that and put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes, but right now, he's got his team in a good spot.
A good spot, maybe looking for touchdown pass number 2 here in the second quarter. No gain there as he kept it himself at second down. Throwing on second down. Newton. This one complete to Curtis Samuel. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. That one a gain of 20 and a first down.
So how do you beat man?
Throwing on second down. Newton. This one complete to Curtis Samuel. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. That one a gain of 20 and a first down.
So how do you beat man?
Mike 58 right there. They can't hang with us.
Shotgun handoff now to McCaffrey. And he'll get it across midfield and down into Cardinal territory. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. The last run got 9. That leaves them with 2nd and a yard. Newton now to throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And it's knocked away and incomplete. He was looking to get that one to DJ Moore, and it's 3rd and short.
They decided to air it out a little bit on that play, take a shot downfield, but the coverage was really nice. Able to get a hand in and tip it away.
On the ground, McCaffrey, and he will have the first down as he gets this to the 47. Got what he needed for the first down with a gain of 2.
In Christian McCaffrey's rookie year, he would not have gotten that carry. It likely would have gone to either Cam or Jonathan Stewart when he was with the Panthers. But now he's the man in the backfield, gets the big carry, picks up the first down.
Ready? 51 to Mike. Hey, here we go.
Back to the ground on first, it's McCaffrey. And this time he's going backwards. So after the no gain on the last attempt, here they get him behind the line.
He did have the touchdown run earlier, but not a heck of a lot more than that throughout this game.
No, not at all. In fact, I would say that this defense has done as good of a job on him as they have on any runner in recent memory. On 2nd and 12, Newton, and they've got the hookup. This is Olsen. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Cardinals' 32-yard line.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Out of the pistol, McCaffrey. And he'll go down at the 26, following a gain of 6.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
On 2nd down and 4. Newton, this is caught.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he takes it into the end zone for a Panthers touchdown.
That's what I'm talking about.
Christian McCaffrey, his second touchdown of the game, his third on the year. And the Panthers, they widen their lead. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. And he'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
Extra point try good by Gano. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And the last play on the drive, the touchdown run from Christian McCaffrey. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. Now Murray throwing on 2nd down. And this one's incomplete. Damiere Byrd, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
They'll get 6 there on the run, but it brings up 4th down.
We often talk of situational football. Let's just call it team football. The defense did their job, got off the field, brought up a punting situation, so they're turning the ball back over to their offense. You think those guys will get along very well right now? Of course they will. Defense helped the offense. Now it's their turn to take it downfield.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. A good kick, 48 yards, 4 on the return. And the Panthers will take over now, 1st and 10. Getting set to go again here, Cam Newton marches back onto the field. He's got to be feeling pretty good, playing well. Team has the lead, so just looking to mount a drive here that ends in the end zone.
And all quarterbacks will tell you, hey, we love a running game, helps us out. But at the end of the day, they want to rely on their arm, throw the football, feel good about things, keep things moving in the right direction. Right now, that's exactly what we're seeing.
And we'll see if that continues. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Brings up 2nd and 9 at the 29.
On 2nd and 9, Newton. They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. 13 yards, 1st down, Panthers. Newton now hitting on 2/3 of his passes, 10 for 15 so far. 1st and 10. Now a give, right side McCaffrey. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Chandler Jones, a former All-Pro, in on the tackle. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Newton. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. That is the first time that they've targeted him that he has not come down with a catch.
He's caught everything that's been thrown his way, a dominant pass receiver that can break down any defense, because when he's doing that kind of work, it really hurts you on the back end.
And even though it's an incompletion there, I think they're going back to that well. And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well. He's lucky to be getting that one back.
After what they've done with him all day long with all the targets trying to go after him, he's obviously gotten smart and his pride has kicked in. Made a terrific play.
Here's Michael Pilardi now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. Now this is fielded in the end zone. So possession goes over here on the punt. The Cardinals will take over at their 20-yard line. The Cardinal offense here ready to take over. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
so well. Go to something else.
And maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Shaq Thompson on the tackle that time. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Out of the gun, here's Murray. Pass complete to Bird out right here. And all the way down to the 22-yard line. A big play there on the catch and run. 57 yards. We know he's good at catching the football, but then after the catch, he's got escapability.
Not only that, he's got some toughness as well, because you know he's coached very hard to make sure he battles through, breaks tackles, and then they finish with, but don't fumble the football.
So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. Here's Edmonds. And he'll keep it moving down to the 15-yard line. Just what you want on a 1st down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
Set the tone, defense. Set the tone, defense. Let's go.
On 2nd and 2, Murray. It's complete to Williams. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. Max Williams. His 2nd touchdown on the season as his guys are back within a single score. That pass also evens the ledger for the rookie quarterback. Had the interception earlier, and now he gets the touchdown throw.
The ideal touchdown-interception ratio is what, 3-1 for the best quarterbacks? But he's a rookie. Just getting back to even is a big deal. Increases the confidence his teammates have in him as he tries to become their leader.
Gonzalez able to tack on the PAT. And this is back to a 5-point game. A 4-play drive spanning 80 yards. And it winds up in a touchdown for Arizona. A 5-point game now as here comes the kickoff. This is taken at his 4. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. There's DJ Moore as he and the rest of the offense head back out there. He hasn't had his usual star-studded performance so far, but still the 2nd quarter, and they're still up on the scoreboard.
And sometimes even as a decoy, you can have a big impact on the game, and that's what we've seen thus far. They're still able to get it done. They found other ways. They haven't had to utilize him as a top priority just yet, but you know he's waiting and available.
Yeah, now the question is, how will they utilize him here? And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. From the gun, Newton. That'll be caught by his tight end, Ian Thomas. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line.
Ian Thomas got pressed into action early his rookie season as All-Pro tight end Greg Olsen went down with an injury. Ended up with 36 catches, and they definitely see him as the future once Olsen decides to hang it up and maybe become a broadcaster.
That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
We get slap happy up here sometimes. Call that one an even 60 yards, 6-0. And the Cards are going to have the football with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. He's had a solid start to this game, but bottom line is they're losing, so he doesn't care about his stats. He just wants to right the ship on the scoreboard.
He wants to actually increase his stats because he feels like if he does, that means things will get better for his team, maybe get him back into the ball game or into the lead. In these situations, I remember playing with a quarterback once where he actually ran out onto the field first ahead of everyone else just to say, guys, let's go. Try and create that energy, create that spark.
Well, so far he has 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He'll be looking for that 2nd touchdown now. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. 15 yards that time, and the Cardinals move the chains. So in the second quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So he got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
Murray now closing in on a 200-yard first half through the air. It's 1st and 10. To throw is Murray. This one complete to Christian Kirk. The Cardinals going to use the first of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Murray going to throw. This one complete to the running back, Chase Edmonds. Now the Cards going to call another timeout, their 2nd, as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. Murray now over 200 yards already in this first half. It's 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, here's Murray. This is caught by Williams. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Give him 16 yards there, and it's a Cardinals first down as well. And now with that completion, he's north of 200 yards here in the first half.
And he's going to break our statistician, Marvin, isn't he? Because Marvin right now is just tallying it up. Hope his hand doesn't hurt too much doing this or keeps hitting the calculator. But my goodness, what a start he is off to. By the end of this game, he could have monster numbers. He just wants to continue to be accurate.
Murray going to lead his guys up 1st and 10, and he's hit on all 5 of his pass attempts on this drive so far. Here's Murray, and that is incomplete. 16 seconds now on the clock.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
3rd catch for him on this drive alone, and it'll give him a first down.
As a passer, you're always trying to find that open window to throw the ball downfield. How about this one? Right in the middle of the field, right in the heart of a defense.
All right, Brandon, thanks. And welcome in everybody to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Time for a look around the NFL here in Week 3 of the new year. Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the second quarter. In our game, it was Cam Newton who led the way in that first half. He's thrown for close to 200 yards already, and that's helped propel his guys into the lead. As we send you back to Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Panthers out in front, and they will get the football first. Second half action underway. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Out come the Panthers. They'll have it first on offense in the third quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ballgame.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else. I don't think there's any doubt that if it's me, I'd be really cautious about continuing to call this play because you got to know, defenders, if they get a free shot at the QB, they want to take it, and they want to take it big.
And they got it there on the option play for a loss. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Now it's Newton. He's going to get this one out to his fullback. And he will lose yardage on the play, back at his own 19-yard line. So negative yardage, a loss of 3 on 2nd down, and that leads to a tough 3rd down call. From the gun, here's Newton. Got his target, Samuel. The 30, the 20. Touchdown, Carolina. Curtis Samuel, 81 yards. And the Panthers, they widen their lead. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Gano now to add the extra point. And this one gives his guys a 12-point lead. So a 75-yard scoring drive on just 3 plays. And Carolina scores to cap it off. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Cardinals offense now ready to get their first opportunity here in the second half. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
They'll run on first down. Edmonds. Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. And he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
That one good for 26 and a first down. So from Panther territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Now Edmonds. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
But these guys are going to chop into that deficit. They're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage will be found.
Throwing on 2nd and 14. Murray on the screen. This is Edmonds. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. And that screen there on 2nd down certainly didn't develop how they had hoped. Is that one they should have even tried, or is that one the quarterback sticks in his pocket?
I think the latter. I like what you said there, because trying is one thing. We can second guess just about every call. But in this case, when you realize it is broken down, just throw it at the feet of your intended receiver so that no one can pick it off, right? You don't have the ball tipped up in the air, and you come back and try and pick up the first down on 3rd down. That way you don't lose any yardage.
And they do get this across midfield to the 49, but a small consolation prize as he's well short of the first. It's a 6-yard gain, and it leaves them looking at a 4th down.
Well, the guys who are paid to make the tackles deserve some kudos there, but I think they deserve even bigger ones, because in that situation, they had to be thinking pass. Loosened up defense, going to pass coverage. Instead, maybe they surprised them a little bit running the ball, yet they rallied to it and stopped them well short of a first down.
And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Curtis Samuel and the rest of the offense heading back out there now. Good day for him so far here in the 3rd quarter. He's hit pay dirt once, over 100 yards, but hey, it's the 3rd quarter. He's thinking, I want more, right?
He wants more, and it just increases the confidence of his team, because every play he makes, that means his quarterback is really feeling good about throwing the football. Probably feels like he can't throw an incomplete pass when he throws it to him right now.
Yeah, he's looked really, really sharp. They'll try to get the running game going with McCaffrey. Corey Peters there to bring him down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up, because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
There's a throw over the middle. It's taken in by his tight end. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. The Panthers have the first. It's a gain of 12.
The completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. A handoff, McCaffrey running right, and he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down.
think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. On 2nd and 12, Newton nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Chandler Jones, what a season he continues to have, his 15th sack of the campaign. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in one game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
So now Cam leads the Panthers up following the sack. Carolina facing 3rd and long. A shotgun snap for Newton. And that will be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Here's Michael Pilardi now. He's been terrific so far. An 8-yard return there after a punt of 47. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Cardinal offense now making their way back out onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
On 1st down, a running play ends up going backwards as he won't get close to the line of scrimmage. In fact, he's going to lose 4 yards. Make it now 3 tackles for a loss in this game, 1 for each quarter.
And for a guy who played defense in college, I can just tell you that he's feeling very satisfied right now by what he's doing, but he's elated because he knows what he's doing is helping his team win the game right now, making some big-time plays, getting into the offense's backfield and spilling everything.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Throwing now is Murray. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion. And both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team. But that's pretty symptomatic about how things have gone here. That play was just shut down right from the start.
And not going to give them a lot of confidence to help turn things around. Here's Andy Lee now as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. This is fielded inside the 5. Officially, that'll be a 63-yard punt. Well done. Here's Andy Lee now as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one.
And that's the word that they're always seeking from the guy taking the snaps, is consistency. Taking care of the ball, making sure it gets to the right people, no errors, right? Not turning it over.
And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line, it's a sack. Brooks Reed picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
After the sack on 1st down, Newton, he finds his man, the tight end Olsen. They'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for third down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives him a much better opportunity to convert on third down.
That's going to be caught by Samuel. And he gets the first down here as he's taken down at the 24. 8 yards, first down as they're able to convert.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Newton now nearing the 300-yard mark with still a quarter to play. It's 1st and 10. Now a run with McCaffrey. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 14.
It's real easy to say this running game needs to be better, but the reality is they've been given little time to actually find a place to run the football. It's almost like the defense is there on the handoff.
Set. 180. 43. Check, 43. Oh, you got deep?
Throwing on 2nd and 14. Newton. Open man is Samuel, complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. It's a Panthers first down, 17 yards on the play. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
This quarterback now over 300 yards now for the game, and time to improve on that as he's got a 1st and 10. From the shotgun to McCaffrey. And he'll take this up over the 40 to about the 41. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Big stop, G. Big stop. Let's go.
This is Newton off the play fake to McCaffrey. Throw right side is going to be caught by Samuel. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Cardinals' 40.
First down.
Newton now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. This is McCaffrey. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
This is McCaffrey. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
This is McCaffrey. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't.
Newton will bring him up 1st and 10. And he's hit on all 5 of his pass attempts on this drive so far. McCaffrey. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
So maybe just a momentary setback on what's been a great drive so far, but 2nd and 13 here. Back to throw, Newton. Over the middle, complete to Samuel. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. Give him 15 there, and the Panthers have a first down. And passing yardage-wise, now up over 350 in this game. Pretty nice performance.
Definitely that, which usually means you're putting a lot of pressure on guys trying to cover. If you're a defensive back and they put over 350 yards on you, you've had a long day. The key to everything, if you're doing it without throwing interceptions or turning the ball over.
Here we go, let's bring it. Let's go, let's bring it. Let's bring it.
A first down carry for Davis. And here he'll get it down to the 7. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Now Newton. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. Curtis Samuel, the one he was looking for. And it's 3rd and 4.
They may be snapping the ball near the goal line, but all you're thinking defensively, keep them out of the end zone. Force the incompletion, force them into going for 3, and not giving up 6.
And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down.
Throwing the ball on this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
A 23-yard attempt.
And the 10-year vet knocks it through the goalpost. And that will make this now a 15-point advantage. That will go down as a 15-play drive, and it results in 3 points. So some disappointment?
It's funny, we had our conference before the game with the offensive coordinator, and what did he tell us? I just want every drive to end in a kick, right? An extra point, a punt, or a field goal. Well, in this case, I think it is a little bit of a disappointment because it did end in a kick, but that type of a drive should end in the end zone.
This is taken at the 3. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
On first down, Edmonds. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 16 yards there, and it's a Cardinals first down as well.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. On the carry, it's Edmonds. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
I know they've got to be careful not to go to the well too often, but it's a fine line, isn't it? Because sometimes, if you got success, you want to just keep pounding away.
But no success there. They rallied quickly on the defensive end. On 2nd and 12, Murray. And his throw's going to be incomplete. The tight end, Max Williams, the intended receiver, and it's third down. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. Now a carry here for Orleans Darkwa. And to the 46 he goes and no further, so he is well short of the first down marker. 7 yards on the carry there, but now they're staring at 4th down. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him, so when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. Getting set to go again here, Cam Newton marches back onto the field. He's played well. Good first half. He's continued that here in the third quarter. But my question, when you're a head coach, what do you look at stat line-wise for your coach? Do you go right to turnovers?
You really do. As much as coaches don't want to talk about that, that's where it starts. When I played in college, our first rule for every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. And that's kind of how they judge you. Do you take care of the ball, not turn it over, keep it in the proper hands, and give your team a chance to win?
Well, that's what he's done here in this one so far. On second down and 4, Newton, and he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's third down. Now they face a third down and 4 after that incompletion on second down. Operating from the gun, Newton. And he will find his man. That's Hogan, complete. And they're going to have this field and inside the 45. That's a gain of 31 with right around 1 minute to go in the quarter.
Just more of the same there, partner. Guys have just been running free in the secondary this entire game. No pass rush, a lot of passes completed. Been an easy day for them.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. On first down, this is McCaffrey. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. It's the Pro Bowler Chandler Jones who makes the tackle. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Here's Newton. They'll set up the screen with Davis. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. Throwing on third down, Newton. And he's got his target. That's Moore. And he will be taken down, but a big pickup there on what's going to be the final play of the third quarter. Welcome back to the desert. We're in Glendale. It's the Panthers out in front and in control of the football as well as we begin quarter number 4. Back to the ground attack here. It's McCaffrey. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. From the gun, Newton. Under pressure, and he'll go down. Sacked back at the 31. Chandler Jones, what a season he continues to have. His 15th sack of the campaign.
It's a team game, but sometimes individuals do stand out, don't they? How about that for a twofer? Tackle for the loss on the running play on the previous down, and then comes right back and gets a sack.
So now Cam leads the Panthers up following the sack. Carolina facing 3rd and long. Operating from the gun, Newton. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. And his kick is absolutely perfect. And that will make this now an 18-point ball game. So with that, you figure this game's pretty much out of reach at this point.
Yeah, it's going to take a heck of a comeback to come from 3 scores down, but don't change that channel. Don't go away. Miracles can happen, and you want to be here in case it does.
You're a company man.
Aren't I, though?
After knocking through the field goal, here's Gano back out there now for the kickoff. So out now come the Cardinals. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
They'll start on the ground with Edmonds. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down.
The best play callers in any league know how to break their tendencies. They study themselves, they self-scout, and they realize most of the time you don't call a draw play on 1st and 10. So every so often you insert that play just to make the defense think, even if it's not successful.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the 1st down run goes backwards. Here's Murray as he sets to throw it. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. This home crowd, they're happy with that call.
I like the way you said happy there, right? The so-called good guys didn't get a call. They feel like it's been that way all afternoon. You feeling their pain?
They finally got one.
Yes, they did.
Back to the ground on 1st down, Edmonds. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
They'll run with Edmonds again. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves them with a 2nd and 3.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw him through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this 2nd half. Here's 1st and 10. Here's Edmonds. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
From the 22, Murray. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. The Cardinals on 3rd down, not getting the job done at all. A very poor 1 for 10. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Now Murray. And that is incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen. despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
So they'll turn to the kicker again. He's been a busy man thus far. It's a 39-yard attempt, right hash. And Gonzalez puts this one through. And that'll get the deficit down to 15. Well, with that field goal, you can argue they needed to get back within 2 scores, and they did indeed do that, but still a pretty uphill battle.
Still going to take 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns to get back into it. As you and I know, that's a tall order against any NFL defense. They're going to need their own defense to make some plays as well to give them an opportunity.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
They start on the ground with McCaffrey. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
2nd and 5 now. Newton, Chandler Jones, he continues to wreak havoc in the offensive backfield. Sack number 16 on the year. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
Newton now to throw. And they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line. Their passing game has been spectacular this afternoon. Finally, a win for the defense.
You think maybe there was an adjustment there. Finally gained a measure of, I don't even know if you call it revenge, but got a play done against him, and that's been difficult for them all game long.
Here he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. So, Charles, there are the numbers. What's happened here? Defensive adjustments that's caused him to sort of fall off a bit?
I think so. That has to happen. You've got to make some changes because in the first half, they were pretty effective. But the second part is sometimes when you're doing really well, you get off your game a little bit. You get off the gas a little. You're like, okay, we've got this thing. And that's not necessarily the case. Maybe right now, someone just needs to tell a joke in the huddle, loosen things up, and get their big guy going again.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. On 2nd down, here's Murray. Throw caught here by Bird. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
And he's got the first, but we also have a flag on the field. And they're already walking backwards. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
And this 3rd down looking very tough after the holding penalty. 3rd and long. He'll get this into the hands of Bird. His big day receiving just keeps getting bigger. He's over 200 yards now on the afternoon. And in a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified, big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
Draw play, Edmonds. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's second down.
I think a lot of people are a little bit surprised there that they ran the draw after that successful pass play previously, but the thought process had to be, maybe we can catch them rushing the passer and hit something big with the running play.
Ready. 70 ending. Check. Watch 54. Stay with your man.
On second and 11 now. Murray, and that going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's third down. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right? Yeah. Not an actual player. No chance at all. Way easier said than done. Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
And the kick by Gonzalez is good. And they're hanging around here as the lead's down to 12. So yet another field goal to end a drive. That has been a very common theme. He's now hit 5 of them in this game.
Yeah, Brandon, as an offense, you hate that you've had to call on your kicker so often, but you have to love the fact that time and time again, he's come through.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is taken at the 3. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Cam Newton getting ready to go again on offense. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
He takes this for 3 to the 29. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock. Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
The Cards going nickel, an extra defensive back out there now on third down. Newton going to hand it off to McCaffrey. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on third down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, third down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll run with McCaffrey. And he's got some space here. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. It's a Carolina first down on a gain of 16. I guess he was saving his best for last, so to speak. Longest run of the day coming here in the 4th quarter right there.
And that type of run makes for a better night for him and his teammates, doesn't it? To be able to produce this late in the game can lead to some big smiles and satisfaction in the locker room after this one's over.
So into Cardinal territory now. It's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. On the run, it's Davis. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 11 yards and a Panther first down. Starting to become a tough spot for this defense. You're down 4th quarter, looking a little fatigued maybe on that side of the ball.
Partner, we've seen this before, haven't we? Because every coach we've ever talked to says body language is important. And now you're seeing guys with their hands on their hips, they're bent over, hands on their knees. And the offensive guys, they're just saying, let's just keep running it at them. We've got them now.
They keep it with Davis on first down. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up second down. They'll try the air now with Newton. And open here is Hogan. He's got him. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. A good pickup there, 26 yards. He's played a great game. It continues right there, even with this lead, confident to throw the pass and have the reception made.
There's no doubt who the leader of their team is there? There's no doubt who they want to ride all the way to the finish, because strategy would tell you run the football, run the clock down. Instead, they're letting him throw it because they feel that confident in what he's getting done.
A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is first and goal. They'll try to run with McCaffrey. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Well, no doubt here in the fourth quarter, this is a huge defensive series.
Hey, they can read the scoreboard. They realize if they give up a field goal here, this game might be out of reach. They understand the stakes and are playing accordingly.
This drive's taken more than 3 minutes off the clock already as they come up on second down. Here's Newton. They'll set up the screen to McCaffrey. And they'll go backwards here, losing yardage to the 14. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that is going to set up third and goal. Couple of plays sent them the wrong way, and now they face a 3rd and 14. McCaffrey. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it makes things a little more interesting now on 4th and goal. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
Gano's kick is good, and that will make this now a 15-point advantage. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but they still ate up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
After knocking through the field goal, here's Gano back out there now for the kickoff. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Arizona offense now as they get set to take over. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Normally, that's not the down and distance that you call a draw play. You're usually wanting to wait to 2nd or 3rd down with a definite passing situation before that play is dialed up.
Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on second down.
Come get some. Come get some. Come on here. Come get some.
Now Murray throwing on second down. He's got it to Williams. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 15 yards that time, and the Cardinals move the chains. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, you're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Come get some. Come get some. Come on here. Come get some.
Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They'll run on 1st down, Edmonds. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45.
So much of the game today, we're looking for hybrid players, guys who can do a combination of jobs. And anyone who plays a strong safety position, now more than ever, is a hybrid type player. Half defensive back that covers passes and half linebacker that makes tackles. We just saw the linebacker make that play. And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up inside, and this is what we saw there. A nice pickup for a 1st down.
So from Panther territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 41. Now Darquan. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
That was a good run, and it got to the 2nd level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the tackle, and oftentimes we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop.
So the Cardinals, they've got the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. He's got a man. It's Williams. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the 1st down. They'll run on 1st down. Edmonds. And finding room to work, he's down to the 2-yard line. The Panthers going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard.
Let's go, D. Big series right here.
2nd down, Murray sets to throw. And this is caught now for a late touchdown. So hold everything here. This one's not over yet.
I'm not sure win-win is the proper term here, but it certainly felt like it. They got the touchdown they needed, but if I'm on the defensive side of the ball, okay, you got the touchdown, but it sure took you a long time.
Yeah, because offensively, though, you're probably hoping for a 1 to 5 play drive. That one ate up a little more time than they were hoping.
You're exactly right, and if you have that 1 to 5 play drive, you actually build up momentum and even more hope. When they had to slog their way downfield, they got the touchdown, but it's almost like, you know,
doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
So a nice drive put together there. They go 75 yards in 9 plays. And the Cardinals cap it with a touchdown. So the lead trimmed down to 8 as here comes the kickoff, and it's away. This is taken at the 3. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. And onto the field, here come the Panthers. And this game not quite over yet. And we'll likely see them take all 3 timeouts defensively, so they can't just kneel this one out. They're going to have to try to run a few plays.
You're exactly right. They've got to get a 1st down and make them use up all their timeouts in order to feel like they have this one in hand.
The drive begins with a run by McCaffrey. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. The Cardinals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the 1st down run goes backwards. Newton's going to throw it. And Thomas has it. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. Now the Cards going to call another timeout, their 2nd. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the 1st down. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Shotgun handoff now to McCaffrey. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. The Cardinals forced to burn their third and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Got to figure the rush is going to be fierce again as they come up 2nd and 13. The Panthers down to a knee out of the victory formation. So here we go, Charles, 3rd down. Any chance you're throwing?
I don't think so. I think you got to keep the clock rolling here.
They go down to a knee and a sigh of relief as they are into the win column for the first time this year. And you know they enjoyed taking that knee because they're now going to be 1-2 instead of 0-3. And psychologically, that's a big difference early in the season.
It certainly is. It's a big barrier breaker because you get to 0-3, you're not thinking playoffs. At 1-2, you still believe that you're going to be a playoff team.
Yeah, you feel you got some hope on your side. 0-3, things start to look pretty bleak. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. Critical condition here, obviously. Got to hope to get something quick right and then maybe take that shot deep.
And once they do take the big shot, you've got to worry on defense. Of course, no one getting behind the defense and make it an easy throw. But nowadays, it's not just the ball being tipped in the air and people in the end zone in a cluster. It's that guy that's short in the end zone who comes up and ends up making the play because he goes unguarded. So there's a lot to think about if you're playing defense in this situation.
We'll see if they can cover all their bases. Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right.